Storms are disrupting school and sports. Again, students are experiencing virtual reality. The orchestra is recruiting musicians in hopes a community program will help. And esports competitions are officially here. Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and you're watching Eagle Zone. It's Tuesday the 21st when we record this, and with winter storms in the forecast, we don't know what to expect for this school week. So, we're releasing this abbreviated show early. First, the weather. It's disrupted school plenty this school year, and it's affected sports schedules even more. So, how fitting that storms are supposed to come during this busy sports week. Athletic Director Don Seiler joins us to share the latest information that could still change before this winter season is over. Ms. Seiler, thanks for being here.
It's great to be here, Brian. Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, so my first question is, how's the school year been overall with sporting events and just weather?
Well, obviously, weather has been a concern for a lot of our teams. Particularly our basketball teams appear to be more affected than anybody. We've had to reschedule 7 of our 20 contests, so roughly a little over a third of our season has been impacted by weather.
Alrighty, my next question is, there's state wrestling at the end of the week in Rapid City. How are you planning on getting the wrestlers to this event?
Well, we communicated with the wrestlers early at the end of last week. We knew there was a weather event moving in. It was just a matter of where it was going to track and how severe the weather was going to be. The actual wrestling tournament begins on Thursday, so typically we would have our wrestlers out there on Wednesday and they would get an opportunity to practice out there. Well, we moved that up a day, so our wrestlers actually took off this morning. We wanted to make sure they were on the road by 8 o'clock because it looks like a large portion of South Dakota is going to be affected by this, and so we wanted to try to get ahead of it as much as possible. Been in communication with the other athletic directors across the state, particularly in the eastern part of the state, and all of the AA schools were sending their wrestlers this morning.
My last question is, what goes into the decision of rescheduling or canceling, and who is also involved?
We begin looking at the weather as early as we possibly can. I communicate with the athletic directors in the events that we'll be participating in. We also involve school administration, mainly Dr. Guffin's office, because she is the one who's making decisions about whether we're going to have school. She does a great job keeping track of incoming weather and what's going to be happening. So, I really like to start with her, and then I like to go branch out to the athletic director that we'll be playing against, and then I broaden that a little bit more with the AA athletic directors, because all of us do travel great distances to participate in these contests. So, it's not a decision that's made by one person. It's usually a team of people, and always with the ultimate idea that our athletes have to remain safe.
Thank you very much, Ms. Seiler. Music groups are also working around weather. The Valentine's Bistro had one performance last night and has another scheduled for tonight, but it has a backup plan if weather disrupts the event. The alternate date for the concert is Thursday the 23rd. Again, that's if tonight's event is postponed. You can visit Aberdeen Central's website and read the live feed for the latest information. Speech, debate, and oral interp students are back from their first national qualifying event, and Aberdeen qualified 9 students to the national tournament. We have video of the group as they prepare to leave for its competition. Tessa Hermanson qualified in domestic extemp. He's the first 4-time qualifier in program history. Abia George in foreign extemp. Sammy Heggie in domestic extemp. Lily Williams qualified in Lincoln, Douglas. Ashley Crouch and Kayla Waldman with informative. Brianna Wallman and Nang Nang both qualified in oratory, and Sadie Rapp qualifies in dramatic interp. Other students could qualify in future competitions, and head coach Kerry Conda just earned his 3rd Diamond Award from the National Speech and Debate Association. Success of the students is one factor that contributes points toward the Diamond Awards. Aberdeen schools are trying to expose kids to experiences they might not have here in South Dakota. Eagle Zone's Jabez Darrow joins us to explain how the schools are offering virtual reality. Jabez?
Elementary schools are getting new VR and AR headsets for class. Simmons Elementary is one of many that have virtual reality. Mrs. Weinheim's 4th grade class got to try the new VR headsets for a lesson.
It was pretty cool. I liked it. It was pretty fun.
It's fun. You get to do a lot of different stuff in it.
Technology director Josh Jensen also thinks it might inspire kids as they are exposed to new things through virtual reality.
I think that it's going to really help for experience time. And anytime a kid has an experience, they learn better than just telling them something.
The district will add more VR sets for elementaries, and there will be higher end sets for classes at the high school.
Oh, for sure. So we have this set of VR sets, and then Tiffany had some from a few years ago. We're looking at getting some more for the elementaries. And then the high schools has kind of upper class VR sets for things like surgeries and human body and a lot of different stuff.
Based on this class, results so far look promising.
Thanks, Jabez. Central Orchestra is trying to draw more students. Those efforts start before kids reach high school age, and it involves more than the Aberdeen School District. Eagle Zone's Elena Mesa joins us with that story. Elena?
Orchestra teachers in the district want to see more people start and stick with the art. The Dakota Prairie Youth Orchestra is for anyone in middle or high school that would like to join.
The youth orchestra for the Aberdeen area. So this was started from Northern State University, actually, which is a really cool story. Northern State, the orchestra there, has the longest running orchestra in the state of South Dakota, even longer than like the South Dakota Symphony. It's 102 years old. So we have a tradition of orchestra in this town and started this orchestra underneath Northern. I help out, Miss Stubbe from the middle school helps out.
Teachers recruit orchestra members by visiting 5th grade classes each year, but the youth program at Northern supplements what kids can gain at the middle and high schools.
The people who go and are involved in this youth orchestra program, if we talk about their participation in the school orchestra, I noticed that the people that do the youth orchestra tend to be more of the leaders in orchestra at school, just because they're getting that extra time, they're learning more skills, they're becoming more confident in who they are as musicians.
COVID affected everything, and that includes orchestra numbers at the high school. But Burns says those numbers are bouncing back. He hopes the youth orchestra program will continue to help that thrive.
If you want to check out the program, it's 3:45 Wednesdays at Northern. You may contact the middle or high school orchestra directors or Dr. Stanichar at Northern.
Thanks, Elena. We'll jump right into sports. The basketball teams are coming off strong weekends with wins on the girls' and boys' side. The boys traveled to Brookings and then to take on Sioux Falls O'Gorman. They won both those games. The girls' team fell to Watertown on the road, but earned a win against Brookings at home. We picked that game up right after the halftime with the Golden Eagles up by 2, and the girls don't waste time adding to that lead. Taryn Heddick finds Taryn Hermanson in the paint, and the freshman gets 2 to drop. Aberdeen up by 4. Still in the third, the Eagles work the ball around to find Katie Withers. She gets a long 2 to fall. Aberdeen extends its lead to 6. Ahead to the fourth quarter with 5.5 minutes left in the game, the Eagles up by 8. Heads with a nice pass to Hermanson. This one doesn't drop, but 8th grader Lauren Burkhart grabs the rebound and puts it back for 2. That extends the Aberdeen lead to double digits. The Eagles go on to win 58-47. We've been following the start of Esports at Central this year. First it was recruiting players, then working out tech and team issues as players tried competing in scrimmages. And now, official competitions are here. Central has Rocket League and League of Legends. Both have had competitions, but League of Legends was the first on the schedule. So those players will forever be the first in school history to officially compete in esports. Eagle Zone's Joey Dahlman joins us with an update. Joey?
Esports has been preparing for months, and after dealing with some rescheduling, they are finally competing with other schools. While both groups, League of Legends and Rocket League, have scrimmaged against other schools, wins and losses are now counting. League of Legends was the first to officially compete.
We didn't win the match per se, but it wasn't our general team that practices together. Usually 5 practice together, another 5 practice together. We basically had to put those 2 teams together to get a team to play. So for those circumstances, it did actually go pretty well.
And the other competing schools have been playing League of Legends for several years, while Aberdeen is still in its rookie season. Because of this, there are still roadblocks that the team has to work through, such as teamwork.
We practice quite a bit, but getting all 5 of them there at the same time sometimes can be an issue. And so every game that we have played, it hasn't been like the team. It's always been a sub in or another player that's had to come in.
But when it comes to working amongst themselves, the team has a lot going for them, as communications have improved.
We work together, we make sure everybody has exactly what we need. We make sure everybody is able to do what they need to do, and we just try and work together as much as possible.
However, this is only the beginning of their season, as they have more competitions lined up in the coming weeks.
I think we work pretty well as a team, and I think that if we keep working at it, we could get better.
We do need some viewership, okay? So I'm gonna start posting when our matches are up on our Twitter page and on the website, okay? So we do need some viewership, right? So like everything else, the more views you have, the more successful it is. So if we can get some views, kind of like basketball games, we needed some fans in the building, okay? So if we can get some views, that would help us out.
Rocket League's first official competition ended with a win for Aberdeen. You can watch any future games from both groups on the NFHS website under the Esports category.
Thanks, Joey. And I do know your last name is Pierce. My apologies. We have highlights from that Rocket League win. The team played 3 games of the series in its first ever competition. This one's against Derby High School in Kansas. We pick it up in the first game. The team passes the ball around before freshman Daniel Say gets the goal to put the Golden Eagles up by a point. Still in the first, the Eagles attacking again. This time, it's another freshman, Josiah Grand Prix, with the goal. Aberdeen goes on to win the match. Ahead to the second. Eagles with a large lead, and adding to it, junior Braden O'Connell with the goal to put the Golden Eagles up by 4. The team took all 3 games in this series. That's all for this episode of Eagle Zone. You can always watch our stories whenever you want by scrolling down to the Eagle Zone section of the school district website. That's aberdeen.k12.sd.us. Stay safe out there. With Eagle Zone, I'm Brian Odell Johnson.